dim lit chandeliers glow. We'll sip our worries away, nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. But let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. Your eyes, they sparkle with every click. Sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome to Last Call, where we are slightly over 2 weeks into 2025, and I don't know about you, but I could use a drink. But Troy, I don't imbibe adult beverages, you say. Fine, more for me. But seriously, sometimes you need a more Volstead-friendly means of relaxing and finding your center, and that's where our special guest comes in. Jess hosts the channel Flow with Jess, a yoga-themed YouTube channel that I think you would really enjoy, and she's going to tell us about it. So get comfortable, or get into one of those uncomfortable yoga poses. I don't judge. Top off your glasses and tell me what you're sipping on in the chat, and we'll roll out this very grounded and very centered Canarble Wagon right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Salud. Welcome, welcome. So glad you're all here tonight. Boy, I see the chat just going crazy. You guys are wonderful. So appreciate you guys. Yeah, I am still getting used to this new Eevee Mux. My guest comes into the green room, and I'm sitting here chatting away, and she can't hear a word I'm saying, and I'm like, oh, I'm muted. And after the intro, it doesn't even unmute automatically. So I almost started talking to you guys on mute. But, you know, it's a learning curve. New year, new platform. We'll get this figured out. Let me start by bringing in my my beautiful bouncer, Netter of Netters Network. How you doing, my dear? And what are you sipping on?
I'm doing well. I am currently drinking, well, I'm two-fisting it.
Mm-hmm.
So my fallback drink tonight is the Signature Select Seltzer Water Cherry flavor. And then I'm also, in the other hand, I've got what's left of my kullin cream.
You've earned it tonight. You really, really have. It's been a brutal week. Brutal week. I am having I've been wanting a martini all week, so it's drier than a standard martini, but it's not as dry as a dry martini. It's 3 parts Bombay Sapphire and 1 part Coca Americano.
Because this time he followed the recipe.
Yes, and I decided I didn't want to go too dry, and the flavor of that Coca Americano's coming through. Netter said it tasted a little bit like cinnamon to her, and she's not wrong. There's a bit of a little sweet spice to it that
if I hadn't been drinking the kullin cream, I would have had him pour me
a little glass
a
of
wee dram.
Wee dram.
A wee dram of it.
I've got two jumbo olives stuffed with garlic. I was looking forward to that too. So.
Oh, not the blue cheese ones?
I thought about it, but I didn't want it to cloud up my Bombay Sapphire. So there
choice.
You go. And of course, I would like to know what all of you guys are sipping on too. So let me know in the chat. And meanwhile, let me get my designated driver in here because, when I've been drinking, sometimes I might need someone to help me end the stream. How you doing, Boomer? And what are you sipping on? Are you muted?
Yeah, you're muted, Boomer.
Let me unmute you. Unmute. Hello, unmute.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
There you go. See, I told you. And then we just lost Netter.
No, my
growing pains.
My stream just went kind of like minimized, like into the center of the screen, came back out, and it was like, what the heck just happened?
You're going to have to reboot or re-enter. That's
re-enter
fine.
The studio.
That's fine. We're getting used to it. How you doing, Boomer? What you sipping on?
I have myself a Pure Leaf unsweet tea.
Oh, okay. Because designated driver, right?
Yes.
Do you work tomorrow?
I do not.
Oh, okay. Not that I'm planning on keeping you late or anything. It just, just one.
But this is, I decided, since I had to come up with a new avatar for this new service, at least for this week, why not Richard Farnsworth from The Straight Story, considering the news of the...
Oh, yes. Quick salute to David Lynch. That's rough. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That was a good movie with theater experience, too. I did catch that one in the theater.
Really good stuff, yeah. We will dedicate all of Live from Sparkwood and 21 on Tuesday to talking about David Lynch.
When you brought me in this time, in huge letters across the screen, it said, "You are in the broadcast."
Yeah, it does try to spoon feed you through the process. I will say hi to all of you guys in the chat in just a moment. I don't want to keep our guest waiting any longer. Let me get her in here. She's been so patient, waiting through all of our technical difficulties. Hello, Jess. Jessica. I'm sorry. We've established, especially that if you say it in a British accent, that's when.
Jessica.
Yes, Jessica.
I had to switch it. Once I saw that clip, I realized I made a mistake by calling myself Jess.
See, there you go. Absolutely. I am one of those that, I appreciate when people say, yeah, call me Jess, call me, whatever. I mean, what are you going to say? Age? Hey, just call me Age. But I think that people's full names are so elegant, right? Jessica is a nice, pretty, elegant name, so, I knew a Catherine. She said, yeah, you can call me Kathy. I'm like, can I call you Catherine? Because I like Catherine, it's a good name. Anyway, welcome, Jessica.
Thanks.
How are you doing tonight, and what are you sipping on, if anything?
I am so wonderful. I do have a cup with me. It's just filled with some nice hot water with lemon today.
Nothing wrong with that. Staying hydrated. I will, by tomorrow morning, be wishing I had stayed more hydrated. I have absolutely no doubts. Let me quickly say hi to the chat. Let me go through the rundown here. Of course, before we get started, note that I do have a pinned, from your perspective, it's this way. I do have a pinned comment up at the top linking you to Flow with Jess. That is her channel. Please give her a subscription and make her feel totally welcome. Well, wait until after tonight's stream. Then you can start going and watching all of her videos and whatnot. But I think you will enjoy it, especially on those days when you are just feeling it and you're like, I need to calm down. Connie Cleary looks like she was the first one in here. Welcome, the bird woman of YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Logical Spark, haven't seen you in a while, but I certainly appreciate you. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Curtis Selby says it's a films with friends raid. Yes. I'm guessing that in a little bit I will be seeing deleted scenes and Big Al of Big Al Presents because they were watching a movie tonight. JPRPH1. Yep. Hey there, man. Good to see ya. Yes, and he also says Big Al raid. Good. Thank you so much. And of course, Netter of Netters Network.
Hello,
I
hello.
love you too, my dear.
Je t'aime, mon amour.
Gesundheit. That's, you know what? Let me pause here for just a second. Jess, do you speak French?
I do not.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to assume, but I thought maybe. Films with Friends raid. Thank you so much, Big Al. Have a great stream tonight, my friend, and have a great weekend. You too. Looking forward to hanging out with you tomorrow night on Netter's channel for the Fall of the House of Usher. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. David Pensek, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you as well. Good evening, Evelyn Hampton. Haven't seen you in a while, but it is so good to see you. I hope you can. I hope you can see us well. I know you've just recently had some minor surgery and are recuperating, and we all wish you well. Prayers, good wishes, all of those things. Sipping on a homemade blackberry lemonade. Man, that sounds good. That sounds really, really good. Let's see here. Don't want to miss nobody like Matanui. Hi there. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. And I knew Deleted Scenes was in here. There he is. Salute, my friend. Good to see you. And hail to the chat, he says. And of course, because he knows I don't promote myself very well, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Awesome. Jesse Guajardo. Good to see you, my friend. Yep, dropping the fedora, the brown mumbler, the channel logo, and the Canarble Wagon.
That's funny because it's the last one, the Canarble Wagon is so tiny.
They are, yeah.
It looks like a rabbit cage.
It looks like a rabbit cage. Yeah, well, you know, drunken rabbits, maybe. And Mark Daly. Greetings from the Panhandle of Florida, a.k.a. South Georgia. Okay, there you go. Exactly. If we ever see some redistributing so that so these states make more sense, that might be kind of cool. I'm not going to get into U.S. politics at all tonight, Jess. Don't worry. You know, I know it's... You know, not only are politics not your thing, U.S. politics even less so, right? And Tim Hayes, hail. Welcome, my friend. Age of Boomer. Yeah, I put up.
Huh?
Just brought up your chat saying hi, that's all. Did I say hi to David Pensek? I think I did. Yes, absolutely.
Jess, are you from Canada?
I am from Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Or as we say, Canada.
no, it's fine. Just checking because he mentioned a thing about. Okay, that's cool.
Tim Hayes is sipping on a Dr. Pepper. I have a video in my watch later talking about the history of Dr. Pepper. I'm kind of looking forward to watching. And there we go. I was wondering where you were at FKHC 2005, whom we lovingly call Tim.
Because that's his name.
Yeah. How do you spell cup, Troy? I see you, P. Eye cup. Let's see.
Yo, weirdos.
I mean, weirdos. I'm watching a video about how pet dogs, why their behavior is so weird. Why do they watch you pee? They watch you pee because it's a pack behavior thing. When you go to the bathroom in a dog pack, that's a moment of vulnerability, and pack members make eye contact with you to let you know, I got your back. I'm watching out for you while you are in a vulnerable position.
Okay.
But
I want. Sorry, go ahead, Boomer.
who brings the dog into the bathroom with them?
I think it's just
my cat
you
used to do it all
push
the time too.
Most people, whether you admit it or not, you either leave the door open or you just kind of push it too, and the dog's gonna go boonk, and he's gonna just come in.
And my cat would do that all the time.
Cats do that too.
He would push the door open and then just sit there and stare at me.
Mr. Baseball, Bob Euchre. Yeah, wasn't he also the father in Mr. Belvedere?
Yes,
so.
He was. Yes.
We will be doing an in remembrance for Bob Euchre on Sunday as well. Absolutely.
One of the chat messages says, "Howdy, Jessica. Just sub to ye." That was her to Selby. So that's a great reminder, because Troy's not as good at this as I am. We have our lovely guest here who is severely undersubbed.
Severely.
And I know that she's new to all of you. So if you wouldn't mind clicking on that link at the top of the chat and dropping your sub. Doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to our guest and to us that you do this. So let's see how many subs we can get our guest, currently at 360. It should be 361 with
let me refresh. 363.
363. Okay, and you know
that's
how
up from 358. That's not bad. That's not bad. We're getting there.
And you know how much I like my round numbers. So how about we get that up to
500?
500. Let's start with
I don't know that we'll have that many viewers tonight.
Let's start with 370. Can we do 370?
Yes.
Because my sweeties out there, you guys are Osmo. And I know that you are going to do this and you're going to super encourage our guests.
So Mark Daly says he's a former Michigander, honorary Canadian. So does that mean you're from the upper little piece we stole from Canada part of Michigan? Is that the part you're from? And Jesse Green, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. My cat watches me take a shower. Well, there you go. Fair enough. And he's like, why do you wash yourself that way? Why don't you just use your tongue like everyone else? The dog also knows you can't get away if it wants to. Well, that is a good point, too. A dang outlaw. He subbed. Thank you so much. Good man. Good man.
Told you, my sweeties here, they're all Osmo. Of course, now I got to explain what Osmo means to Jessica.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so there was a church that Troy and I had belonged to many years ago. And the guys in the church decided they wanted to form a basketball team. So they would play basketball every week. So the minister's wife decided, well, the wives should be cheerleaders. And we were all down for that. Except for one of the wives couldn't spell. So we went out to do the cheer, AWESOME, you're awesome. Only she was a little bit louder than the rest of us. And she said, AWESMOE, you're, and we went, Osmo? So we decided that Osmo is better than awesome.
I love that. I think that's a better way to do it. Oh, yeah.
So all my sweeties are Osmo.
So, yes, JPRPH1, he is Richard Farnsworth from The Straight Story in honor of David Lynch tonight. Yep, absolutely.
You guys are so amazing. She's at 368 already.
There we go. We're getting there. Tim, thank you so much. Thank you, Jesse. Good man. Good man.
And for those of you who have more than one identity here,
okay.
You can, sub with all of them.
Where the thumb meets the... Okay, gotcha. I know exactly where you're talking about. Let's see. And we are... and I didn't get to say hi to Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you.
To John. Maria!
There's Maria. There's Maria.
Maria is my sister from another mother.
Yep. We had specifically extended an invite to Maria to come to tonight's stream because thought you two might have a lot in common, Jessica. She is a Zen priestess. Wow. And so she and actually, I would love to talk with her some more about that and find out a little bit more what that entails. But I think you guys have chewed a lot of the same spiritual ground. But speaking of which, let's start moving to that. If you were to give me an elevator pitch right now to tell me what is Flow with Jess, your channel, about? Tell us about your channel.
So, the elevator pitch. I should have come more prepared.
No. I mean, if you had to sum it up in, a 2-minute elevator ride with somebody.
Absolutely. So a little background, I had been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for probably the past decade or so. And I had been going through a lot of what I would call my awakening process of becoming a little bit more conscious and aware of my place in this universe. And I went down many rabbit holes, learning about, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, and a lot of different paths in spirituality. And so I finally decided in September, I set the intention. I said, you know what? I am going to start my YouTube channel. And it began with the intention to record and upload one video every day for 365 days. I broke my vow around December, but every day up until then,
right around the holidays when things get busy. I'm shocked. I can't imagine why that would happen to you.
I know. It just, it happened, but I'm still so proud of what became of it, because I like to describe it as it's my dharma, and it's what my teachings and the wisdom that I've gained, and just all of the things that have happened in my life that I want to share, spread, and connect with people on. So I spend a lot of time just chatting about life, love, happiness, and everything in between. And then I am also I was a personal trainer. I moved into becoming a yoga teacher and mindfulness facilitator. So I really want to start incorporating some more yoga and breath work into the channel. So there are a few yoga classes. There's more to come, but primarily it's my little Dharma chats where I get to connect with. And this is where I met Troy, and it's been such a blessing getting to connect with people and share on our shared, our commonality of being human, right? And we speak a lot about the very emotional side of being a human on this planet. And I think it's really nice to come together and support one another in what we're going through. So that's pretty much, I think, it in a nutshell.
Yep, absolutely. So Maria says that's a lesson in and of itself. Yeah, absolutely. It's true. One thing that you had said on a previous video, you said something about, I don't remember if it was people being put in your path that are meant to be in your path, or if it was events happening the way they're, something like that. And I kind of felt like that was something you were saying to everyone in your comment section and whatnot. You just recently started doing live streams too.
I did, yeah. I decided when I was coming back, I thought I would take one step away from recording and uploading. I was like, I'm just going to start with a live stream, see what happens, and I'm really enjoying it, and being able to actually chat in real time. What a wonderful thing. So so we'll see if that continues, or if I'm just going to keep doing regular recorded videos. But I'm definitely open to the live stream. I think I need seeing what you have going on and seeing all the beautiful comments. I was here on the 2024 recap video, and I was just so amazed. I was like, what a beautiful community that you're building, and what a great connection that you have with everyone. So it's really wonderful to see.
Something I tell every other YouTube, because I've had guests from all different kinds of YouTube channels, some of them much bigger channels, and you build relationships, right? You become friends with the people you stream with and you follow, and and so forth. And there's a couple of bigger YouTubers who've been on my channel kind of regularly, and I've told them how much of a fan I am, like like a fan, and they're like, "That's silly. It's not like I'm a celebrity or anything." I'm like, somehow friends are more exciting than those strangers that you see up on the big screens and stuff. I don't really get that excited about celebrities, but the people that are chewing the same ground with me, that are doing what I'm doing but are more advanced than I am or whatever, that kind of excites me, and they're like, well, okay, then whatever. But, I mean, and I'll tell you, regardless of the size of the channel or how long it's been around or whatever, getting a shout out on a YouTube channel makes you feel like $1,000,000. So you come on and do your stream one morning and you're like, Troy, I don't know if you're catching this, but I stopped by one of your streams, and I'm like, you stopped by my stream? You didn't even say hi? What the hey, girl? But it was like, oh, that's so exciting, and I'm like, okay, we got to get her on. We got to get her, blow up her channel, get her, get her to her goals, and whatever we can do. So and that's why, Maria, maybe you guys can hook up. Maybe you can hook her into, your side of the community and whatnot. And I think that would be really, really awesome. So, you were talking on, again, on your streams, you have a regular, I don't know if it's more than once a week. I'm guessing it might be that you go for yoga, and you have these regular things built into your life. How are you managing that kind of, so, I mean, we're talking about balance, we're talking about centering, we're talking about, how do you manage that with now getting into YouTube, plus family life, plus, everything else you got going on?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'd love to start by saying it's a cycle for me. And I I do think it's important to set your intentions and to put yourself in a position where you find time and space. So if you say, I want to do a yoga class once a week, if you set aside that Monday evening, right? And you create those conditions in order to put yourself in that position where it will happen for you. I think that it's very important to do that. But I've really come to realize that things come in seasons and cycles. And there's going to be a time where it just doesn't feel right. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay to say, this is not the day. And my yoga mat will be there for me, or my meditation cushion will be there. And just know that when the time is right for you to be back in that position, you will find your way back. So for me, balance is, yes, doing your best to do these things for yourself, but also not chewing yourself up if it doesn't quite work out, finding a way around it or doing something else to support you. And then just know that it's always going to be back when you need it.
Absolutely. Real quick, I wanted to bring up, Maria says, finally got back to doing live streams. So she would love to have you on her show, Zen and Now. So I will, after the stream, maybe tomorrow after I sober up, we'll I'll get you guys in touch with each other. Nate says, sorry, I'm late. What did I miss? Well, you know what you could do is you can go back to the beginning and watch on double speed. Listen to us sounding like chipmunks until you get caught up. And Maria's... Pardon me?
I was talking to Nate.
Oh, yeah. And
¿Cómo se va?
hey, all, saying hi. Sorry, it's not at my computer. I'm not at my computer, so I can't type individual. No. That's fine. That's fine. You can interact however you want, however you need. That's perfectly fine. So let me translate. This is what I heard, and you correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds to me like what you're saying is scheduling and having a regular schedule is a good idea, but when that gets thrown out the window, just roll with it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, just flow with it, right? Flow with what's going on. And, my biggest thing is always having different tools in your toolbox. So I think we get caught up when we're like, okay, we need to go to the gym for an hour. We need to do something for a super long period of time. But if you have a 5-minute or a 2-minute way to just calm your nervous system, just a little bit of breath work, taking 3 deep breaths, it can make a huge difference. And you don't have to do something, if you don't have time for an hour, do you have time for 3 deep breaths? And if you do, that will center you. It'll just make a difference 1%. And that 1% might change your day.
Right. And I mean, my regulars have heard me say, you get to the end of a brutal week. What do? You take 3 quick sips and then, you top it off and you mellow out, but you can't do that during the week because you got to work the next day. So maybe you go to your wife and you go, honey, I need a hug. I'm not even joking. Netter, tell him.
No, he's not joking.
See?
Are hugs the best medicine?
They kind of are. They kind of are. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's, I
give amazing hugs.
She does. She absolutely does. But, now,
you want to know the trick to a good hug?
What's that?
When you put your arms completely around the person and you rub their back a little bit, that's a good hug.
Oh.
I agree.
Ones that do that kind of, their hands only go as far as your arms and they kind of lean in a little bit and then that's not a hug. That's like, what's that? You got to actually put your arms around the person, give that little back rub. That means I want to be near you. I feel affection for you. And in my case, with Troy, I love you. And
Exactly.
they feel loved back. So that's a good hug.
I can calm myself down in less than 2 minutes. It's called single malt scotch. Absolutely. That's that's just the definition of love, isn't it? Maria says she needs a hug. So Maria, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your right hand, put it on your left shoulder. I want you to take your left hand, put it on your right shoulder. Give it a squeeze. That's from me and Netter. Okay?
Well, I also dropped a hug in the chat.
Well, there you go. Absolutely.
Oh, and Maria, the package will go out tomorrow morning. So you should have it by...
I want to tell everybody what you guys are talking about because there's so many jokes involved, but I won't.
You can. It says 3 days, but because Monday's a holiday, I don't know if it'll actually be 3 days or it'll be put off a day. So right now we're looking at Wednesday, Thursday at the latest.
You know what? Mark Daly brings up a great point. He says, aside from the obvious emotional benefits, a good hug stimulates the production of red blood cells.
See?
It also stimulates dopamine in the brain. And as a result of both of those things, a lot of scientists believe that the religious concept of the laying on of hands for healing, that's exactly why. Having physical contact with somebody really does heal.
It does.
Really does help.
Troy will get headaches every once in a while. And he always says, I have a healing
And not
touch.
just from hangovers. I mean,
he only drinks once a week. He's not doing that every day.
Right.
So, but like he'll get a migraine, and just putting my hands on his head.
I will take her hand, put it on my head.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he will feel so much better just from my touch, because touch is healing. You're basically giving someone else some of your energy, and that's healing.
Absolutely. And guys, as I said in the description below, this may sound a little woo-woo to everybody. I know this isn't the regular, kind of topic, but come on, let's be honest. Especially after the last 4 years of, what we've been through and being cut off from each other, I think we need to reestablish some of these basic truths that we've always known. Even if we didn't know them consciously, in our heart of hearts, we know these things, how a hug can make you feel better, spiritual tenets that we've gotten away from, right? And I don't just mean these kind of spirits, I mean, spirits, so this is part of making America healthy again, even if it is coming from a Canadian.
I think I kicked myself out.
I know, but you're technically still here because you're on my mic,
no,
so
true.
It's not it's not that
you are on stage in huge letters.
I'm gonna have to see that sometime. I haven't seen it from that perspective yet. And we got a question from the last call gallery. Jessica, do you know what the stick is
we teachers use on students during meditation, and why?
I do not know.
Is this one of those questions where you know the answer, Maria, and you're just kind of testing? Because
I know I had some teachers that use a yardstick, and that was definitely helping us to pay attention.
Well, I was always told that's the Board of Education. Well, I went to a Catholic grade school, so it's No, I'm not even joking. We had the biker nuns, right? Sister Crescentine had that tattoo on her arm, "Born to Raise Lazarus." I mean, I'm telling you, grab you by the ear. Oh, you'd listen then. There's no doubt about that.
Maria, would that be one of those? I think they're called rain sticks, where you turn in one direction, it makes this kind of gentle tinkling sound, and then you turn it the other way, and it does the same thing. Oh, I thought those were so pretty sounding, and I think they're called rain sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of falls along the lines of touch. Okay, yeah. Yep. So there you go. But sorry, making some Catholic, because I still have Catholic flashbacks. Someone hands me a ruler. No, post-traumatic shock.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The resident Catholic. Sorry if I offended you.
No, it's fine. But I thought with our guest, Flow with Jess.
Yes.
What do you mean by flow? I guess that's my go with.
Good question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Okay.
So on one level, there's a vinyasa flow is a style of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of yoga teachers will classify their style as a flow style. So on one level, that is, to highlight that it is a yoga-based movement. But then on a little bit of a deeper level, to me, there's also the piece where I do also I study astrology, and I have a lot of water in my chart. So water tends to flow, and so I feel very connected to that imagery as a little Pisces. I'm a fish, so I always think about the fish flowing in the water. And there's also the piece where, again, I think I spoke a little bit about the cycles that we all go through. And I like to think of that like moving in flow with the seasons, with the cycles, and with yourself as well. So yeah, on that level, it's just kind of flowing with the energy, with yourself. And then also the piece about it being a style of yoga specifically.
Cool.
Makes me think of the whole, well, going back to what you were saying earlier about having a plan, having a schedule planned, but then if life throws you a curveball, you just go with the flow, right? You kind
Right.
of,
And
whatever.
it always does. I don't know if anyone else has had this experience. Say something and you'll say, like, I'm going to go to a yoga class tomorrow at 5. And then you get a phone call to go to dinner with a friend at 5. Or for me, I'll say, oh, I'm going to try intermittent fasting tomorrow. And then my mom comes over and she's like, I baked you an entire tray of burritos.
Oh, wow.
And so, and I'm like, what, and of course it's right at that same moment where you say, I'm going to do something. So life always seems to throw these little curveballs at you. And, there's the option to just, be upset or frustrated, or you pivot and move in a different direction.
What I find kind of funny is, and I've had this conversation with a friend who I don't see in the chat just now tonight, but Mark is also a practicing Buddhist, and by heritage.
So is Evelyn.
Pardon me?
So is Evelyn.
So is Evelyn, yes. But by heritage, he's Jewish. So I do find it interesting to have conversations with him when he's coming with a Jewish and Buddhist background, and I'm coming with a Christian background, and realizing how much commonality there is. Everything you just said are the same things that I have heard from people in Christian churches talking about. Now, of course, they will talk about how when you have godly intent, the devil's going to throw up barriers for you. How God has another plan for you. So when you make plans and you realize something else comes up, you got to go with it. It still all has the same outcome, right? The same heart, if you will. However you define it, God, the universe, whatever, is going to throw your plans out the window. Life is what happens when you're making other plans,
Right.
The old adage. And we know a lot about that, don't we, Boomer? I mean, just
Yes. Well, hopefully things go according to plan tonight. We have a smooth stream.
I mean, we have so far. I'm having a lot
Yes.
of fun. And I should, to be sensitive to your time, how long do we have you for, Jessica?
Until Jacob wakes up, but no, but I would say I'm feeling good, so
Okay.
yeah, we're good for time.
Usually we go for about 2 hours, but you are under no obligation. If you feel you need to especially if the little one needs you, absolutely get that. So, go ahead. Absolutely.
Well, I don't want to interrupt if you were going to say something.
No. Go ahead. I
I
can.
was just going to say yoga is very popular at the library I work at. We tend to have yoga sessions in there. Also, other types of medication like stuff with bowls. I think crystal bowls. That's another thing. That's very popular.
The Buddhist. What are they called? The singing bowls.
Yeah, that's very popular too. But yeah, I notice a lot of public spaces they have this thing even at libraries now, so that's interesting.
So actually, I'm glad that you went first, because that leads into what I was going to say. So, Jess, you have no idea how I happened on your channel, do you?
No, I would love to know the story.
Okay. So, I actually don't know if anybody knows this, including Netter. It's not like, anyone would care. But during the day, I will, because I work from home, I have a great deal of freedom. I'm a contractor. I will have YouTube running, whatever I had from the day before on watch later, so it'll be, Decoding the Unknown and the Y Files and, Midnight's Edge After Dark and whatever caught my fancy, right? But then when I run out of my, interests, instead of scrolling, because it takes me away from, working, I'll just go, you know what? I just need to chill. Let me throw on some ASMR videos, right? Now, not all ASMR videos are made the same, right? So you got to kind of scroll through, and for whatever reason, and we all know this as YouTubers, the YouTube algorithms group things in the oddest ways, and your one of your videos came up in the scroll of these ASMR videos, even though I'm guessing you don't have ASMR in your search terms.
No.
Are you using search terms? Because you should.
Yes,
Okay.
I am, and it's so funny. I'm excited to keep hearing about this, but yes, I've noticed that people kept saying, "Oh, it's reminding me of ASMR," and I noticed in some analytics that that's how people were finding me, and I didn't actually know what ASMR was.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, okay, this is interesting," but I don't think my videos are quite in that category.
It's funny you say that because they kind of intrinsically are. First off, you have a very mellow sort of timbre to your voice.
Mm.
You know, I mean, could just put on one of your videos and just listen, you know, kind of like that. Not to mention that the topics that you speak on there are a lot of do you practice Reiki at all?
I do not.
Okay.
I do
But
not.
you know about it, and you know that there are YouTube channels dedicated to it.
Yes.
There is some overlap there
Mm.
in the philosophies and whatnot. So there are a lot of Reiki practitioners that bill themselves as ASMR for exactly that reason. Then they'll use the singing bowls and so forth. Guided meditation, you know, that literally is what ASMR, you know, if done right, is meant to be. You know, so that's exactly why. So here's what I was talking about in the green room. If this is not a topic you want to get into, that's perfectly fine. You just let me know. But you did bring up I think mentioning something you said in a video should be just fine because people are going to go watch your videos, right? All of you all, you know, there in the chat, you guys are subscribing. I know that we're already at least 372. I haven't refreshed yet.
I'm refreshing right now. And
where are we at?
Hold on, my thing's being slow. We are at 372. So we've already passed the 370 that I originally asked for. Cool. So how about we go up to 375?
Let's get 375. Anyone who has not subscribed, the link is right there at the top of the chat. Please make sure you're subscribed to Jessica for no other reason to make me look good. But
and as I always say, it's like the sub costs you nothing, but it's an immeasurable cost to us. It means so much to us when you sub to us. And of course, to our guests, it's really encouraging to our guests. So you want to encourage our guests, right? My sweeties are always blowing it out and encouraging our guests.
So in one of your recent videos, you were talking about your YouTube analytics. And you were surprised, and I don't remember the number, what the percentage was, male to female, watching your videos.
97.
97% male. Okay. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's why you're over there, huh?
This is what I'm getting at. And you were shocked by this. You did not understand why. And you mentioned talking to your husband about it. Again, this was on your video. I'm not, you know, outing anything that wasn't in your video. And your husband's like, you know, don't know. I mean, you know, it's everything that you're sharing on your channel is good, male, female, whatever, right? But I would be curious. This is where we get a little saucy. If anyone who has gone over and subscribed to Jessica's channel today, you know, all, you know, 20 something of you that have already subscribed today, take a quick scroll through her video, see why, you know, people might be tuning into her channel. Yeah, now I'm getting the stink eye.
No, I'm questioning your math. Wasn't it 258 that she started off with?
Yeah.
That 60.
Keep in mind I'm drunk.
77, 72, 73, 76.
Okay, so more like 13. Okay.
18.
Oh, whatever. See, I'm like I said, I'm into my second martini. You saw me refill. I'm on my second martini.
18. We have 18 so far.
18. We're going for 20. Going for 20. Can we get 2 more so I can say we got you 20 more subscribers? Anyway. You don't have to comment if you don't feel like. Just we can move on to the next topic if you want.
No, that's okay. You know, it's funny. I think I made a comment in one of my. Actually, you know what? I have a fun story about that.
Okay.
There was a woman, and she said something along the lines of, she should wear more clothes. Will not be subscribing.
Wow.
And I was a little offended.
That is so rude.
And you know what? So in my next video, I brought that comment up.
I mean, wait a minute. Let me interject here real quick. It's very important that I clarify to everybody. There is nothing unwholesome about her channel at all. I mean, we're not talking. Less clothes is not like some of the ASMR videos that I've seen when I'm scrolling.
Like that.
I'm talking. It's like ripped jeans. And. Well, some people find bare feet to be interesting. So, just...
Anyway, you were saying...
No, just saying, nothing wrong with anything she's doing.
I'm glad you...
of the viewer that's projecting.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified because I didn't realize how that sounded. But yes, it is wholesome. But I responded by simply saying, like, this is just more for comfort more than anything. Like, I just... I'm in my ripped jeans and a little tank top, but I didn't mean it to be, I don't mean it to be a portrayal of anything specific. I just am doing it to be, comfortable.
The reality is, it's very clear from looking at your channel that you're not going for any kind of a glam thing. It's what I'm guessing you probably wear when you do yoga and stuff like that, workout, attire and so forth. So it's like, get over it, folks. I mean, or don't ever go to a gym. I mean, heaven forbid, I mean, just saying, Okay. So, no, oh my gosh. Hey, that is not at all true. He says, Troy, it sounds like you're calling her boring. I think what you're trying to say is that her voice is calm and soothing. Yes, I think she got that, Nate. Didn't you? I did not mean to imply you were. Well, would I be watching her videos and suggesting you guys subscribe to her if I thought she was boring?
Maria put in the chat, I have to eat. Long day saving kitties. But I'll watch the rest. Please get in touch with me. So Maria,
yeah, I'll get you guys hooked up afterwards. No
Saving kitties is a good thing.
Okay, just because Troy keeps wanting to make a joke of this. So there are 5. There's a construction site across from where Maria lives right now. I don't know what they're building, but it's currently a construction site, and there are I think it's 2 adult cats and 3 kittens that are in that area. And so what she's been doing is she's been feeding them, but now it's going to get super, super cold outside. And so she's been building little kitty shelters or cat houses for them so that they can go and try and get out of the cold instead of trying to hunker down under pallets where it's not safe for them. And one of the things that I told her, the package that I'm sending her, is I actually bought a insulated cat house for outdoors.
Cat house.
Cat house. Yeah,
and I told her, you will not make me not giggle every time you talk about sending Maria a cat house. Hey, Maria, how's your cat house?
So this thing it's insulated. It's got the kind of foil inside. And it also has like a little, it's got a mat for the bottom, but the bottom part of the mat has also got the foil. And so it's meant so that cats outside or dogs or whatever can be insulated from the cold being outside. And what's really nice about this particular one I'm sending her is that the flaps in the front kind of overlap so you don't get the wind blowing in, which is nice.
So Mark Daly says it seems odd to be quoting, because he was talking about Well, I guess this is relevant. I should bring this up. The military tactician Clausewitz says no plan survives 5 minutes of contact with the enemy. Yes, I've heard that. Mike Tyson said everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And then he goes on to say it might seem odd quoting boxers and generals in a stream about Zen, but the theme of adapting to changes in plan is a common thread in both. Wasn't boxing once referred to as the sweet science or something like that? And I even remember back in the day, Joe Namath, those of you old enough to know who Joe Namath was, talking about how he and a lot of his football buddies used to practice ballet in the off season because the grace required for dance was very applicable to football. So
And Joe Namath had great legs. He did a pantyhose commercial.
he did a pantyhose commercial, and this was back in the 70s. So don't you people go, talking about woke with me on that stuff, man. Actually, I don't think that would go over very well these days because the heart behind that was a little tongue in cheek, and that wouldn't be allowed these days. That's as socio-political as I'm going to get tonight, Jessica. So don't.
It's not bad at all.
That's the other thing too. I watch her channel and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm afraid of what she's going to think of me if she ever comes to my channel. and then I'm listening to the things she says, and I'm like, chances are we'd get along a lot better than I'm giving her credit for.
Right? Like you promised, you were like, I won't go on any social political rants. And I was like, why? Come on. Bring it on.
Because no, if for no other reason, that's not really what tonight was meant to be about. So, yes. But I also did say, we'll see where the conversation takes us. I don't mean to be that in a bad way either. Like you said, yeah, it's about comfort. Absolutely. Absolutely.
May I ask our guest a question?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So
you may not realize this yet, Boomer, because you haven't familiarized yourself with the
yes
the platform we're on, but you can actually take over the thing and boot me out if you figure it out.
I won't do that unless.
No, I know. I'm just saying you have the ability.
I just was curious, Jess. How did you get involved with yoga? What drew you to it, or how did it? Was it like a life-changing event in your life or something that kind of? There, I'll let you take over. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was actually a bit of a life-changing event. I had dabbled throughout the years, but I was very into weightlifting at the time. I was working as a personal trainer, and I myself was, working out pretty much 7 days a week. It was, I was trying to go for a peak physical condition, and I ended up I was just getting injury after injury, and I had suffered from a few issues with my knee, and then I actually tore my hamstring, and enough was enough, and my body was telling me that the style of movement that I was doing just wasn't right for me. And then one day I was just on YouTube, and a Yoga with Adriene video popped up. And I'm not sure if anyone's familiar, but she's probably the most well-known yoga YouTuber on the platform. She has, I think, 13 million subscribers, and she's made a real impact in so many people's lives. And so I came across her channel. I started practicing, and it really changed my life. And so I started practicing with her every day. Sometimes I would just let the videos keep rolling and just keep doing yoga because I just started feeling so good. And then, so it just kind of went on from there. I realized I fell in love with it, and I decided I wanted to become a teacher and work with people through yoga as well as with weight training. And I wanted to just add it as something else to help support people in my community. So yeah, that's how I got started with it. I like Yoga with Adriene. She changed my life.
Are you still doing weight training? Because I don't think I remember you really talking about it in your videos. Not that I've watched all of your videos,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, not so much anymore. I am still involved in a local studio, so I fill in occasionally, but for the
Mhm.
most part, yeah, it's not a huge part of my life, but I still enjoy it. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
not, but yeah, not as much anymore.
Okay, no, fair enough. As soon as you were talking about problems with the hamstring, I was like, okay, you were pushing it when you shouldn't have been, and you were probably working it when it was injured, and you shouldn't have. And
Right.
you look, everybody who does this is something I don't talk about much on this channel, and people find hard to believe, given fat, flabby, old Italian guy. But back in the day, I used to be Mister Weightlifting, no neck, can't scratch my butt type, big guy, and this is so common at the gym. You push yourself, and pushing each other, right? Come on, you're weak, you're nothing. Come on, push it. You can get one more, right? And knowing your limits, right?
Yeah.
Being able to say, my hamstrings are tight, and if I push it, I'm not gonna be working I'm not gonna be able to do lower body for a month, and then I'm gonna lose all my gains. There's intelligence about that. Now, what I just said about no neck, can't scratch my butt also tells you I may not have been working out with the best of intentions as far as full range of motion and probably the healthiest, but I wanted to look good because I was a young guy. You know what? I gotta get back to the chat because I think I'm missing out on you guys. I often fall asleep with singing bowls, the rain. Yeah, so there's some ASMR out there specifically on those things that do stuff with the rain sounds, with the singing bowls and so forth. Absolutely, and frequencies. This is sound, how sound affects us. I mean, I was just watching several videos recently about how they realized that ultra low frequencies, very specific frequencies, cause people to feel anxious, feel
Mm.
nauseated, and if it hits the right resonance, the resonance of water, because humans are about 2/3 water, causes your eyes to vibrate, you start to hallucinate. And they were actually finding that a large number of ghost sightings were related to low frequency vibrations. So, the way it was discovered was this dude, who was an engineer, was in his laboratory late at night working on a project, and he was feeling very anxious, very nervous. You know, he saw ghosts, is what he saw. And this freaked him out, and he didn't know what to make of it. Didn't talk to anybody about it because you don't tell people I'm seeing ghosts. I mean, you
I
just
do.
don't. Well, but by completely unrelated, he was also into fencing. And he brought his foil into work, and he had it in a vise because he wanted to do some work on it. And he cranked it down. It was being held. He went to do something else. And when he came back,
Mm.
it was vibrating. And he's like, why is that happening? And he started doing some experimentation to find out that it was resonating with sound vibrations from a air conditioning unit that they had just put in.
Mm.
And as he started looking into it further and further, he realized that these low frequencies that you can't hear, human ear can't hear, he was reacting to. It caused these anxious feelings, caused him to see things because his retina's vibrating and stuff. Just very, very interesting stuff. So understanding that, and by the same token, one could argue that these meditation bowls probably have the opposite effect. They have a calming effect. They hit the right. It's a sound frequency you can hear. It makes you feel more mellow. People need to understand how these elements in our environment impact us without us even knowing it. You know, I want to say that person commenting about not enough clothes is dead wrong. Okay, okay, she's a married woman, Mark. Let's be let's I don't mean that in a bad way either. Okay, we get it, man. We get it. No, I'm playing, man. I know you have good intentions. Yes, quite demure. I agree. Absolutely. Because as I made the comment about ASMR, if you've looked into ASMR, there are some ASMR artists that are, let's just say, less than demure. Those are not the videos I'm looking for. I don't see how those are conducive to relaxing. Just saying. And I'm sure there's probably some people in my chat that are going, yep, I know exactly what you mean. That's why I watch them. Okay, take care, my friend. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Jessica, have you thought about getting into the martial arts?
Ooh, yeah. I have a big interest in I was thinking Aikido or Jujitsu. I've had those on my mind. There's a few places around where I live, and I'll see signs for them, and I'm like, Jess, this is a sign. You need to go. You need to go give it a try. But I haven't yet. But I've heard amazing things about getting into martial arts, and I know that there's a huge aspect of there's a big mental meditative aspect as well. That I think would be really, really beneficial, and with just adding that as a tool and a practice.
3rd degree red belt in mixed martial arts.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever mentioned that on the stream either.
No.
See, all these secrets about Troy coming out. You have this way of bringing stuff out in people, right? If I can make a suggestion.
Yeah.
Look into Tai Chi. I think that would be right in your wheelhouse, and it leads into those others very, very well.
Yeah,
I think you would benefit a great deal from that. Welcome, Samuel Procter. What did I miss? Well, you missed a lot. You might want to do the rewatch. Stay with us. I'm not going to suggest you go back to the beginning and try watching from the beginning because we're well into it. Stay with us to the end, and then
or super speeders, so we sound like chipmunks.
Yes, I was thinking this too as I said it, Nate. Humans are ugly bags of mostly water. Boomer, you know that reference? What's he referring to?
Me?
Yeah. Do you know where that comes from?
Is this from the Matrix?
No, I believe, and let me know if I'm mistaken, Nate, but I think this is from I was gonna say Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but now I'm second guessing myself. Ugly bags of mostly water.
It sounds like a Hitchhiker's reference.
I might be wrong. Let me know if I'm mistaken. I'm not going to put you on the spot, Jess. I know what you said earlier about that. Welcome, Tarot Destroyer. I want to say that person commenting about not enough clothes is dead wrong. Fair enough. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming by my stream. I haven't seen you before. Of course, I hope that you enjoy yourself enough to give me a subscribe. But more importantly, I hope you give Jess a subscribe with the link at the top of the chat. She would love to have you as a subscriber, I'm sure. Trial of erectile dysfunction drug on pregnant women stopped at 11 after 11 babies die.
What?
Okay. Well, why would they be testing it on women? That makes zero sense. I mean, Look, I am really at the point where I see some of these scientific studies and I go, why are our tax dollars or are university dollars being spent on this? Right? I see these studies like, millions of dollars spent on this particular study to find out that cockroaches that are exposed to cocaine, have heightened activity and die young. And it's like, really? I could have told you that for free, dumbass.
Maybe they were trying to figure out a way to, if the cockroaches could withstand that drug better, then they could come up with a serum to inject in the people, so we could enjoy that drug without consequences.
Well,
I'm
scientists have
sorry.
studied mice and marijuana, or I'm sorry, squirrels and marijuana to discover that the that the squirrels would rather play with their nuts than bury them.
That was Netter. That wasn't me.
Okay. Anyway,
I feel like she deserves a little bit more latitude. Real quick, I want to bring up. I got a super chat from JoesAtmosfere. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Dig heavy rain. Oh.
I love hearing the sound
yeah.
of rain.
So the. I can't say her name because she'll wake up.
Our AI.
Our little
Amazon AI.
Dot. Yeah. When we go to bed, we could tell her to play, rain sounds or whatever. I like that. It doesn't help Netter, and she has enough issues trying to get to sleep. So.
Oh, I like the sound of it. It doesn't necessarily knock me out, but I love the sound of it.
But then later on, it wakes you up in the middle of the night because it's still going.
No, what wakes me up is when she suddenly stops, because then there's silence, and I'll wake up because it's like, why is it suddenly so quiet? Like, what's different?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, Lester San Jose knows his martial arts. He's the go-to guy in the stream for that kind of stuff. I know a couple of people. You're one of them, my brother Thomas, who's a black belt in karate, and he's very into yoga. There you go. I don't have time for rewatches. Okay, well, screw you then. I'm just messing with you, man. Thanks. Well, but remember, you guys should always remember this. If you have a bunch of YouTube videos to watch, you can watch it in double speed or whatever. And yeah, they sound like chickmunks, and it's really, really funny. But you can get through a lot of videos that way. It's the way I get through a lot of R-rated films. You fast forward until you get to something worth watching. Then you play at regular speed, maybe rewind a couple times, and then you play the rest of the movie.
Oh my goodness!
Just drunk enough to get that unhinged.
By the way, Jess, though you had mentioned in a recent video that you're into juicing. Is that right?
Yes, so I like a little bit.
Okay.
I actually I was a little sick. I ended up getting some virus. It hit me actually twice over the past month. So I was sharing a little recipe for what I would refer to as like an immunity juice, where essentially I just blended up some oranges, lemons, pineapple, as well as a ton of turmeric, ginger, oil, black pepper. So blend it, and then just I had like a little mesh sleeve, so I kind of juiced it that way. And then I would make tea. I would freeze the pulp, and then when I needed a tea, I would just pour hot water over the pulp so that I saved everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything. So yeah, that was just really helping, I think, because all of those ingredients are really good for like anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. And like pineapple has a natural cough suppressant in it as well. So everything was just kind of to help get through the sickness. But I know a lot of people in the world were going through it this past month or so. So I was hoping that it would help.
Cool.
Yeah, so I suspect you're the type that would be receptive to such a message. The idea that, let's face it, many of the foods that we have access to are not the healthiest. Processed foods are just one step away from poison. They really are. And I think a lot of the health problems that we're having, a lot of the health-related social problems that we're having. What I mean by that is things like fertility, longevity, chronic illness are directly related to additives that we have in our foods, because we are creatures of comfort who want to buy foods that last for freaking ever, right? We don't want to go to the store every day to buy fresh fruit and bread and dairy products and whatever. We want things, we want our meats to be all full of nitrates. We want our fruits to be all full of sugars. We want or high fructose corn syrup, which doesn't even exist in nature, seed oils and all these other things that are completely unnatural that honestly are killing us. So here's where I get a little bit political. You go, Robert Kennedy Jr. with the Make America Healthy Again. I really do hope that you can make a difference in the next 4 years, because damn, I'm just saying. But so when you say, what you were just saying about the juices and stuff, normally I would be like, you might be better off eating the whole fruit and not juicing. But then when you tell me you're using the pulps as a tea, I'm like, okay, I see where you're going with that. So there you go.
Yeah.
But don't let my current outer appearance, deceive you. I have knowledge and wisdom. I may not practice it, but you can still learn from it. Were you able to put into practice the hydration that I was talking about? Did that help with your headaches?
It you know what, I haven't had a migraine or a headache in a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. I had been adding salt and lemon
Mm-hmm.
consistently, and then, but it's so hard to tell. They at least for me, a lot of the time it seems to be around the weather as well. When we get a lot of really cloudy days, it seems like there's
The
just a lot
barometric pressure.
of
Yes,
pressure,
you're
right?
right. You're
Um,
right.
so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. It's so complicated, right? Trying to diagnose and figure out what's
Well,
going on.
I think I had said to rule it out. Do that first. It's the least invasive thing that you can do to alleviate headaches. And if you have ruled out dehydration, then you can start looking for other things. Have you tried? Well, you said you haven't really had severe migraines since then, but keep aspirin in mind. It is a natural. Well, you saw the comment that I left on your video. Stay away from acetaminophen.
Yeah.
Stay away from ibuprofen. You had the right instinct with those,
Hmm.
but aspirin is not so bad as long as you are careful about your stomach health.
Yes.
You're not taking it on an empty stomach and so forth. It's actually a good therapy. Caffeine can be too. Caffeine is also a diuretic. It will, dilate those capillaries in the brain, which will alleviate pressure. Which is why, if you ever look at the ingredients in any migraine medicine, whether it's Tylenol or whatever, it's going to say aspirin, acetaminophen, and caffeine. And I'm saying stay away from the acetaminophen, but feel free to try caffeine and aspirin. Both of those you can get from natural sources, but it's a little harder these days. It's just easier to get it in a pill, but or a drink, I suppose, these days with caffeine. Boomer, did you know this?
What?
Since cola beans are no longer used to make most colas,
Yes.
caffeine is not normally a part of cola unless it's added. So your basic Coke, Pepsi, RC, whatever your cola is, they're
Yeah.
adding the caffeine to it.
No.
Yep.
Okay.
Surprise!
Not really, because they have the caffeine-free variety too. So I figured, how
They
can they
just
have the
don't add
caffeine
it. Yeah,
variety?
they
They just
just
don't
don't
have the
add it.
caffeine.
So, and here's how I found this out. So there is a difference between decaffeinated or no caffeine cola and decaffeinated coffee, because coffee absolutely has caffeine in it, and to remove the caffeine, they have to filter it through formaldehyde, and there are trace amounts of formaldehyde in decaffeinated coffee. And I used to get scorching headaches if I ever drank any decaffeinated coffee. And I talked to the doctor about it, and he said, let me do a test. And he did a test, and he goes, you are allergic to formaldehyde, which also explained why I got scorching migraines in high school when we did anything involving dissections, because formaldehyde.
You mean the little frog and whatnot, or the worm?
For us, it was the fetal pig.
Oh, really?
Yes, and
Oh,
I was the
oh,
goofball that did all the gross out things to gross out my
no.
lab partner and the girl sitting across from me. I you cut out the heart, and then I'd take their heart and the heart across the way, and I'd juggle them. I was juggling hearts.
Now I'm thinking of that scene in E.T. where he lets all the frogs free. Remember that?
I do. Well, we just watched that recently on
Yes.
Netter's channel. So yeah, absolutely. Found out that eyeballs bounce. I was surprised about that.
Yeah, they're kind of rubbery.
Yep. When I carved into the brain, though, and started mashing around in there, started to make myself a little bit sick. That was my limit. That was where I hit my limit on Silence of the Lambs, the whole brain thing. I was like, nope, that's my limit. That's
Oh,
my
wow.
limit. No, it was, what was the sequel? The one with Ray Liotta. Whatever.
Hannibal.
Oh, Hannibal. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
It's not good. Don't watch it.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And
That,
Jess
that
has
got
no idea what we're talking
that
about.
got Roger Ebert very angry. He says they're never going to give an ex like a
That was one I
he said
very much agreed with Roger Ebert
he
about.
said they'll
Yeah.
never give the NC-17 for violence again because of they gave the R rating. To
What
this movie.
was
He was
the
very angry about that.
what was the book where Clarice ends up joining Hannibal Lecter as a serial killer?
I didn't read that book. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't remember which one it was. I didn't read it either, but my buddy Chris, my attorney, actually, said he read it and he was so pissed off. He threw it across the room. The next day he took it back to the bookstore. He says, I want my money back. This is bullshit. Excuse me.
This is like that. Okay, well, interesting. Well,
No. And I was like, I totally understand.
Is he going
I'm
to
glad I
kidnap
didn't buy
Thomas
that
Harris and tie him in his tie him down and says write a new book?
I love there are great writers that sell their souls when the movie is made and they got to start coming up with sequels.
Yep.
And honestly, I kind of felt that that's the way that what's his name, Jurassic Park, Michael
Crichton.
Yeah, because his first book was great. His second book was meh. But then when you look at the movies made from them, it's like, did they even read the books?
Probably not.
And Michael Crichton, let me tell you, great author.
Have you read?
I'm almost always gonna say this. Forget the movie. If there's a movie you like, Harry Potter, just saying, go read the book. The books are always better. Almost always better.
Have you read? There's a new book. James Patterson put it out, but it's really based on I guess an unused draft from Michael Crichton. It's called Eruption, so it's like a dual author thing. Have you heard of that? It came out last year. It's called Eruption.
No, two of my favorite authors. Tell me more, please.
Okay, yeah, just check it out. I don't know anything about it, but I assume it's about a volcano. But it's called Eruption, and
I'll check it out. Yeah.
I think it's like his
last. So here's the thing about Michael Crichton, right? He had this way of writing fiction, but using science in such a way that it sounded plausible. You could totally believe it, okay? My first experience, obviously, was reading Jurassic Park. I saw the movie, and I liked it. And then I read the book, and I'm like,
Mm.
I could totally believe this is possible, right? I've told this story before, but I don't think you've heard it before, Jess. And then I read his book, Timeline. Have you ever heard of Timeline? Do you know what that is?
Mm-mm.
Boomer, do you know Timeline? I may have told it.
I know it from the movie, which I know you're not a big fan of, but
Okay,
it's
so I
basically
read
this
the book.
corporation messing around time travel so they could
I
ship
read
things
this
faster.
book, right?
That's what
And
I
the
know.
story is okay. So think about the scientists in Jurassic Park, right? They pull these scientists in to look at what they've done, and they're creating this genetically created dinosaur park, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so they bring in the paleontologists and the biologists and the whatever. Okay, it's basically the same thing. Another group, another secret group, bringing in the scientific experts. One is a physics expert, one is a linguist, and one is a historian specifically about the Middle Ages.
Mm.
And it turns out that what they've done is they've discovered time travel. And they are able to open up a portal to go back to the Middle Ages. And the archaeologists in the modern day have found an archaeological site with, they thought at first it had been contaminated by the people uncovering it with modern artifacts. Turns out, no. These artifacts, these pair of glasses and something else that they found were from our time, but they were as old as the Middle Ages. So they knew time travel happens, right? So they're planning to, okay, so they're going to say, we want you to go back in time and do an observation, and da da da. And they said, but before you can go, because the language they speak, albeit English, it's a proto-English, it's an old English, you will not recognize it. You will not be able to understand it. You need to learn the language before you go back. So the linguist is there, and he's like, I already know this language, but I don't know the pronunciations. We can help you. Here, listen to these tapes. And he's like, how do you know how these? We've already been there. We've made recordings. It's brilliant. So I'm just setting up the synopsis for it. I'm just telling you the story plot. The real hook is when they start getting into, this was the first time I ever heard of the double slit experiment. Now, I think most people know about the double slit experiment, this whole idea of in particle physics, understanding that light behaves both as particles and as waves, and all this kind of stuff. But if you really dig into this, you start going, why does it behave this way? And it gets into that whole observation paradox, like by observing these particles, and there is one theory that says, no, it has nothing to do with your observation of it. It's because there are multiple parallel adjacent universes that are impacting each other. And as he gets into this and starts explaining this as part of time travel, it's like, it just blows you, right? The meme, right? And I love this book so much, and I don't want to give it away. You need to read this book if you are at all interested in what I'm talking about. Timeline by Michael Crichton. Screw the movie. Forget the movie. Just to hell with the damn movie. The book was so good. It was so good that I took all my friends from my weekly D&D group. I'm like, instead of playing D&D tonight, let's go watch this movie. You guys like Jurassic Park. This is the same author. Brilliant book. You're going to love it. We get through the movie, and I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. And they're like, yeah, it wasn't that good. I'm like, the book was so much better. I thought this was going to be good. I felt so bad.
Now I want to read Congo by Michael Crichton because I like
Congo.
Congo.
Those of you
that had a talking gorilla in it
out there. Oh, jeez.
Well,
How much
they had a
coke were they on when they wrote that script?
look. Here's the thing. No, it was she would do sign language, and then the sign language would interpret by the computer, and then speak out what she was saying.
I
So
know, and it's
she's very
based on
smart.
yeah. I remember reading about that gorilla they taught sign language to, and then more recently I started looking and I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean she understood what she was doing. She was
I thought that
mimicking
was a guy in a
behaviors.
suit.
Oh, I don't remember the movie, dude.
Oh,
Screw
okay. In the movie,
that
I
was a
don't think it was
long
an
time
actual
ago,
gorilla.
man.
I think it was an animatronic suit. It was, anyway,
Nowadays it would be bad CG.
just so you know, Jess, if you want to get into movies, the gorilla suit was one of the first big effects. It was, just
So
you
I
don't need
think
an
that
actual
Mark
gorilla on
Bailey
set,
is
just have a
doing.
guy in a suit show up.
Yes, ER was based on a Crichton novel as well. I'm going to have to look into it because ER was, it was a show that happened. Have you heard of Simon Roper, Polymathy, and David Crystal? They go into a ton of research on reconstructing historic pronunciations. Not them specifically, but I've talked many times about the Metatron on this channel. He's a polyglot, and I've obviously been doing a lot of my own research in linguistics because of the whole Klingon thing. I know that sounds weird, but when you're studying a constructed language, you start to learn a lot about learning languages and just the understanding of just even how language impacts culture and vice versa, and just the way you think and so forth. And yes, this whole idea of so-called dead languages, there are little clues that can help a person understand how something is pronounced. For example, when two lines in a poem are supposed to rhyme. Well, if they're supposed to rhyme, they got to sound alike. So if we know how one word sounds, we have to assume they pronounce the other one that way, and so forth. So that is a great example. Boy, you talk about archaeology, the Rosetta Stone. That was an amazing discovery. Almost like God intended us to find it so that we could understand, old languages. Metatron has done some. Yes. I was, 30-second delay. I was probably saying it just as you were typing it. So absolutely. Shakespeare's original plays had even more rhymes and rhythm. Yes, that's the other thing too. You read. I remember reading Shakespeare in high school, and you pronounce words the way you assume they are pronounced. Then you realize that the way they were pronounced in Elizabethan times was very, very different. There is a YouTuber. He and his son do readings of Shakespeare in the original Elizabethan pronunciations, having learned them exactly the way I just described, and it is actually pretty amazing. I was the nerd that when we were reading Hamlet in high school, and of course they would go around and have everyone read. I was the one that was reading at the point where he says, "Do you know me?" "Yes, you are a fishmonger." And then I burst into laughter. And everyone's looking at me like I'd lost my freaking mind. And the teacher's smirking. She's like, "You got it. You got it. You understand what you're reading."
What?
Yep.
Is it something dirty?
No,
Okay.
not at all. So the whole idea is that Hamlet is talking to somebody and he's pretending to be insane. And he's talking to someone that he ought to know at least by what do you call it, reputation. And he refers to him as a fishmonger. A fishmonger, of course, being someone who sells fish from a cart in the market. And he was a nobleman. So he was insulting him. But under the guise of being nuts. And it's funny. It's meant to be funny. And I just burst out laughing. And I was the only dork in the class that understood that it was a joke and actually found it funny. But anyway, sorry, I've completely lost the script of tonight's stream. I've totally gotten away from focusing on Jess. Where are we at on time? What time is it?
Well, it's 11. Well, it's I guess on your end it would be 10:37.
Oh, okay. We still
So
got a
past
little
the
time
90-minute mark,
as
but
Jess does too. I'm going to say goodnight. Everyone, stay safe and well. Obviously,
bye, Admiral.
Yeah, take care, Baruch Hashma. Obviously, you can always catch up with us on the rewatches or whatever. Leave a comment if you do, so that I know you're here. But super appreciate you. I still have your fruitcake, still basting it in brandy, so it's not only perfectly good, but it's better. Every week that goes by, we got to get together so we can get you that fruitcake.
Absolutely.
So
now, Jessica, I don't know if you said, because Troy's been nattering on so much, do you teach yoga as well as enjoy practicing it?
I do, yeah. I haven't been teaching a lot over the last little bit, but I'm just starting to do some more online. And I was actually at a really nice event today in person. It was a pop-up spa, so there was a cold plunge and a sauna, and yeah, we did a yoga class in person, and so it was the first time teaching. In a in-person environment in a while, and it was really nice. It was really nice to get back to it, because it can be really challenging once you, and I think a lot of people find this when they're artists or musicians, or when you start doing your creative passion as a job, you start to lose your personal practice towards it. It becomes, something that you're focusing on for money or for your career. So it can really, at least for me, I found it really impacted my personal practice. So taking a little bit of a break to reset and become a student again and just enjoy doing it myself was definitely needed.
That's pretty cool. Have you thought of doing videos that were like yoga for beginners? Because there's a lot of beginners out there that don't know how to get started.
How to stretch without hurting yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I like to make more beginner friendly videos. I started off actually working with pre and postnatal clients. So it was just, I just came into it with such a gentle approach. So yeah, I like to make things as accessible as possible, because I do believe that, movement is movement and everyone can do something. So yeah, I try to make it as accessible as possible.
Oh, that's really great.
Or as my trainer used to say, get off your couch, get off your ass, and get moving.
Ooh.
Right? I've never been the two more, like, the pushing kind of person. I'm like, oh, you're feeling tired, you listen to your body.
Look, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, but an object at rest tends to stay at rest. Sometimes you gotta get it moving, right? So Mark Daly points out there are more things in heaven and on earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Horatio. That's who he was talking to, was Horatio. I probably know Hamlet better than any other Shakespearean play. I got to be honest, I don't like Romeo and Juliet. It was one of his earlier plays. It was incredibly pedantic in its use of iambic pentameter. He was trying to be correct and wasn't thinking through the story. He took a lot more liberties with Hamlet and some of his later stuff, and it was like, okay, this is much better. I dig this. Not to mention, I think I've mentioned this on stream before, thank you, that I've also read Hamlet in Klingon. And I am hoping one day, if I ever get myself back in makeup and costume, I will do the to be or not to be soliloquy in Klingon and post it on the Klingon Cleric channel. Though I am a man of science and logic, I understand Shakespeare's wisdom above and why I'm receptive to Jessica's Zen. Look, I don't care if you call it God or the universe or just exterior natural phenomena impacting you. You have to be open to whatever evidence you experience, right? And if it makes you feel better, if it heals you, if it causes you stress, whatever, take and pay attention to that. There is something to be said for lived experience. If you're a scientist, you call that experimentation, right? But there's also the wisdom of learning from other people's experience. Don't make the mistake yourself. Learn from other people's mistakes. We used to call that learning things the easy way. Take somebody that you trust and listen to them. Many advisors make victory assured. Who knew General Horatio Gates was such a poet? Okay, fair enough.
Many cooks spoil the broth, right?
Too many cooks. Agent Boomer, do you know that one?
I think so.
Look it up on YouTube later. Too Many Cooks. It's an Adult Swim video. Very disturbing, very funny, worth checking out.
So, Jess, kind of in our modern age, I think that we're probably I don't want to say technology addicted, but I don't know. Like, I think I don't know. Is it? I don't even know what I'm trying to say, actually.
Well, so I will kind of focus that. We live in an age that, again, like you said, social media and heaven help us, TikTok and all this kind of stuff. So you have a little one who's a little under 2 years now. Are you thinking through some of that stuff, and to what extent you're going to? Yeah, you want to share about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough one because he is going to be growing up in an age where it's going everywhere and everyone's going to have it. It's in schools. But at this point, we don't have a TV. Well, there is a TV, but we don't have it on with him. And we try to make sure he's not involved in screens as of yet.
Right.
But then there's also the piece where I think about enjoying family movies together. And once he's a little bit older, it'd be nice to be able to have something and be together as a family. But yeah, it's tough to know where the limit is because it can be so overstimulating for so many kids, and it can cause a lot of changes in the brain, especially so early on, right? So it's a tough thing to try to navigate.
So as he gets older, are you going to be having him reading Harry Potter and whatnot?
I hope so. I hope he enjoys reading. We have quite a library at home, so I am hoping that he enjoys getting to read, and we love to read together. But yes, we definitely have read him Harry Potter and a few other books as well. So yeah, we'll see where his interests lie.
Do you know what books I always like? The I Spy books. Are you familiar with those?
Yes, they're wonderful.
Yeah, where you look at pictures and try and find out what's in the pictures, but that's in the text. Yeah, sort of like Where's Waldo, but different. Yeah. What?
Okay, be respectful, but yes, you're not wrong there, Gorilla Rant. Censored Thoughts. Yes, she is quite beautiful, no doubt.
And I have to say I just hear Jacob. He just woke up, so I know you were coming up on that last little bit. So I'll see.
That is true.
I'm gonna just mute, and I'll see if I can be back before the end.
Understood. If you can't, that's fine too. I'm not really in a hurry to close down the stream anyway, so we may go a little bit. Maybe at least to have a chance to say goodbye to you, but yeah, go take care of the little one.
Wonderful. Understood. All right, I'll be back.
Okay. So what I was one of the things I was going to lead into, and Jessica doesn't have to specifically be here for this, but yes, you were. I was just saying, in case I overcompensate sometimes. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, but yes, you're not off base. Just wanted to make sure it didn't go that way. But Boomer, we've talked about this before, about this being able to hand off the things we loved to the next generation, right? I was talking about it with Jessica about, sharing with her son, Harry Potter and so forth, which I think is an easy sell. But I feel like there was a whole generation of us that wanted to be able to share with our children, grandchildren, Star Wars, right? And unfortunately, Disney seemed to have had other plans. Wait.
Some would argue they didn't have a plan. That was part of the problem.
Man, Michael, thank you so much for stopping by. You just missed our guest had to step away to see to her son. But dude, what happened to you on my birthday? I thought you were going to come hang out with me for my birthday. Kind of hurt my feelings there, man. No, I'm just messing with you. But thanks for being here tonight. But there was so I think I've shared this story before. I want to say, was it Toys R Us or some? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Toys R Us had a commercial right around the time that The Force Awakens was ramping up. And it was a father with a daughter, and he was trying to get her to watch the Star Wars movies. And he was all excited to share this with his daughter.
Yeah.
And she just seemed not interested. And it was really clearly hurting him, right? And then they're in the store. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't intentionally miss it. I ended up with an allergy attack. Okay, fair enough. No,
Those can happen.
I totally I didn't know you had allergies. I didn't even know that about you, Michael. Good. I appreciate you sharing that with me. But you know what? You're doing some great stuff on your channel. Guys, I know I mention this every time he's in the chat, but if you're not subscribed to Retro Blasting, I mean, you want me, what?
It's a segue. And speaking of subscribing to people, can we get one more sub for our guest tonight?
Oh, where are we at?
We are at 374. Can we get one more for 375?
Michael, would you be willing to subscribe to our guest tonight? The link is up there in the chat. That'll get her to 375, and I can feel like I successfully helped a fellow YouTuber, kind of grow her channel a little bit. I think that would be a great surprise if she's able to make it back after putting down her baby. Thank you, my friend. You are wonderful. I know that about you. Guys, get over to Retro Blasting. If you have any interest in toys at all, you need to be subscribed to Retro Blasting. He's talking about some things going on in the toy community right now. Wow. Today's video was wow.
Was it about bad behavior among
collectors? By one particular YouTuber. Okay. Might be worth looking into. It's just and he kind of speaks to something that I think a lot of us that I don't consider myself in the toy community on YouTube, but I certainly follow it. So I totally get what he's saying.
Apparently, there's a retro gaming community on YouTube and online that people complain is toxic. But I even though I collect and play retro games, I've never actually.
Well, I suspect that almost every community on here is toxic or has a toxic element.
You have to enjoy your hobby this way, or you're a fraud, and that sort of thing. And they start.
When I think about the retro gaming community, the first one that comes to mind is. Who's that one that rants about old
The angry
games.
video game nerd.
Angry video game nerd, yeah. But it's a shtick that he does. I don't think he, it's.
I don't think he's what I'm thinking of anyway. But yeah.
No, not at all. I think I love his videos because he's got this kind of comedy that I totally understand. Like when he talks about a game that I've played, and it may be a game that I really liked, but he brings up things that I'm like, yeah, that pissed me off too. Oh, I get what he's saying. Yeah. And of course he exaggerates for the humor of it. It's just the shtick. That, of course. Well, I'm going to say that's not toxic, but I'll bet Michael has a different aspect because, he's got a humorous way of talking about things in a very, from the hip kind of way. And people are like, you're so negative. You're so negative. It's like, well, screw you. I mean, you can't give me props when I actually like something, but whatever, you hear what you insist on hearing, I've actually gotten to the point where I'm tired of being concerned and worried about saying stuff that's going to upset people. It's like, you know what? If I'm genuine and I say things that offend you and you unsubscribe, well, that just means that I'm going to garner a following and an audience of people that, like what I put out. And I don't have to feel guarded all the time. I can't understand these YouTubers that are putting on airs and pretending to be something they're not because they're chasing after, whatever. I gotta like this thing because that's the thing to like now. If you don't like it, say you don't like it,
You know who garnered a big follower as an actor? James Garner. In fact, that's where the word Garner came from.
Come on.
I'm just messing with you.
I just thought so. Yeah. As I often say, complaining about negativity is negativity. That is true. Positivity police are hypocrites. That is so true. That is so absolutely true. And that is true in the toy community, the gaming community, and I'd even say it's true in politics too. Lack of intellectual honesty. It's one thing to be critical of someone, but you got to be critical of everyone, holding everyone to the same standard. If they agree with you and you can't be critical about them, critical in your thinking and evaluating of what they say, then you're a hypocrite. Just saying, right? You disagree with someone on the other side of the aisle. It's really easy to see the flaws in their logic, but you have an obligation to hold your own side to the same level of scrutiny. Scrutin me, scrutin you. Just saying.
Oh,
that's a local thing from former governor here in Illinois.
Okay.
Just yeah. But let's see, where are we at? I used to have a burner account or two, but YouTube no longer allows me to go to them. Fair enough. That is what gets to me, Troy. People who will blast one side of X, Y, or Z, but this side. See, this is one of the things I love about Curtis Selby's channel. And please, if you are at all of the mind for his content, go check out Curtis Selby's channel. He gets political, more so I think than I do sometimes. But what I super appreciate about Curtis Selby is that although chances are 75-80% of the time, Curtis and I agree on most things political, he is clearly a critical thinker. And he is very able to hold, both sides of an argument to task and see both sides and be open to an argument, Matt Daly says, agreed, honesty is more important than positivity. Yes, he who praises everyone praises no one. I would go so far as to say this is where the proverb, "He who spares the rod hates the child." If you don't correct, then you don't care. If you're always being positive, you spoil. You know.
Then you get ill-behaved people.
Yeah, exactly right. And you end up with a whole generation. Hey, Keely Chow, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. And Keely Chow, our guest has had to step away to take care of her family. But in her absence, it would be awesome if you could, hit that link that I have pinned to the top and subscribe, because she could absolutely use the subscribers. And I got to be honest with you, it made me feel like $1 million, because then I could say, hey, see, there's value to coming on my channel. You get more subscribers.
When you say that, I think of $1 million that Dr. Evil Seven
$1
has to
million. 1 million subscribers. Where's my phone?
Our guest is currently at 376,
I
which is
just saw
18 subscribers.
That's not bad. We've done pretty good tonight. We've given her a good little boost and gotten her to that
That's
much.
because your wife's a cheerleader.
You are a cheerleader. You are wonderful in that regard, and I super appreciate that.
And I always like to encourage our guests.
Gorilla says Curtis has the politest political discussion chat I've ever seen, even when I think we're seeing
even when me and a few other chatters get into it, it's still polite.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I think you're using the talk to speak the speech to chat, which kind of.
I used to work for a hospital, so I can read doctor's handwriting, which means I can understand the stuff.
2 martinis. Now I get my 2 olives.
Because he needs booze punches.
They've already soaked up. I'm getting more booze from these because, saying hi to each other. That's cool.
Booze.
But did I finish my thought about the Star Wars commercial? He's showing his daughter all the Star Wars movies, and she seems completely uninterested. But then they go to Toys R Us, and he can't find her, and he gets into the next aisle. She's in the Star Wars aisle, and she's holding up a lightsaber. And he looks at her and he goes, "I am your father." And it's like, and she's smiling and she's happy, and it's like, there's that connection, right? And I was so excited.
Reference.
Yeah, and I was so excited about the Force Awakens after that, because I was like, this whole idea of another generation, loving Star Wars, and so then reality struck, and nobody was a Star Wars fan anymore after that. So just gonna leave that where it's at, but we do want to pass on our passions to our next generation, right?
Yes.
But I actually still have some soda in here. But and that reminds me of so look, Dean Martin, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, the whole Rat Pack. Obviously big influences on me. They obviously predate me. Why am I so into, Elvis is obvious. I share a birthday with him, right? But my mom was a big Elvis fan. She was a big Dean Martin fan. My grandfather was a big Frank Sinatra fan, right? And so whenever I'd spend time with my grandfather, especially if he was driving me here and there, we'd be listening to Frank Sinatra albums and whatnot. My mom used to always have the oldies channel, at least what was considered oldies back then, which would have been most your 50s and 60s, right? Music. So that's how I ended up, absorbing those through osmosis, right? You imprint on certain music when you're growing up. So for me, it was obviously the music of the 70s, 80s, early 90s, but it was also the music of the 40s and 50s, because I was exposed to that, possibly in a way other kids my age weren't. DJ Odyssey, welcome so much. You are an Elvis fan as well. I was just sharing that I share a birthday with Elvis Presley. Last Monday, kind of in celebration of our birthday, we watched the 1979 Elvis made-for-TV film with Kurt Russell, which was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Also,
and I would like to remind our lovely peeps in the chat that if there's anyone who hasn't yet subscribed to our guest, who will be back shortly, please click on the link at the top of the chat and give a friendly little sub to our guest, which will be super encouraging to them. And you know it's going to encourage me and Troy and Boomer too, because,
makes us feel like we've done something good with the channel,
Yes.
Warm fuzzies.
So, Deej, I'm wondering, have you listened to the album, the Dean Martin album, music by the Frank Sinatra Orchestra, Sleep Warm? Just wondering if you've listened to that one. Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. A lot of old standards, great nighttime nightcap type of music. Absolutely love that album. My mom got that album from her uncle, my great uncle Ralph. He was the youngest of my grandmother's siblings. Was a prisoner of war in World War II, as a matter of fact. He served in the Pacific. My grandmother was a huge Elvis fan. Yep. Let's see.
What about Bob Dylan? Any Bob Dylan fans in your family?
Nope. Not at all.
Okay.
And I did hear a comedian who made a funny joke about him one time. He says, he was big in the 60s. Not so big in the 70s, probably because he didn't really have anything to complain about. I mean, what was he going to sing? Well, my lapels are too wide. My tie is too. Get over it, dude. My mom was a big Elvis fan and Dean Martin fan, too. We had tapes of Dean's variety show. Oh, let me tell you, I was watching Dean's variety show before I started Last Call. My whole monologue is based on the concepts of Dean Martin's monologues from those shows. I love Dean in Rio Bravo. Oh, good movie. Even though it's a John Wayne movie. Yeah, I get what you mean. Dean gets the best character arc. I agree. One day I'll get Troy to sing Six Jerks in a Jeep by the Andrew Sisters. Well,
I don't think I know that one.
I'll have to learn it. Yeah, there's a couple of requests that I got on my birthday stream that I have to I actually have to learn the song before I can sing it. But I absolutely will do that. See, I kind of figured that was the real reason you weren't here, Michael. It's like, oh God, Troy's going to sing? Nah, I can't. I just can't. And I don't blame you for that, if that's your reason. It just... Traveling Wilburys, yeah. Well, yeah, when you consider... Gosh, what was... That was... Oh, who was in the Traveling Wilburys? It was... Johnny Cash, and it was who's that British kid? Come on, help me out. Somebody help me out? Who was in the Traveling Wilburys? I'm a little fuzzy right now because 2 martinis will do that to you. Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong. We have all the time in the world. That's actually my favorite Louis Armstrong. That's my favorite Louis Armstrong song. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. My favorite James Bond movie. You don't know World War II classics, you Philistine? Well, I mean, you know what? It's funny though. If I heard the song, it's very possible. Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. No, I might do. I know a lot of Andrew Sister songs. Petty Orson, right. Dylan. Okay, thank you, Deej. Thank you. Never would have imagined Dylan would be the last Wilbur standing. Oh, God, yeah, good point. Jeez, man. Let me tell you, we're losing all the greats, and I don't really feel like the new talent is rising to the occasion. It's almost painful. So I've been thinking a lot about Roy Orbison lately because we just lost David Lynch. We're going to be watching Mulholland Drive at some point on Live from Sparkwood in 21, which takes the Roy Orbison song Crying, translates it into Spanish, Llorando. And in the context of that movie, that song is just heartbreaking. And I'm going to talk about that when we start getting into that movie. But that's probably my favorite Roy Orbison song is Crying. Very heartfelt song. But, Jeff Lynne is still alive. There you go. But, are we going to do another music stream next week, Boomer? What are you thinking?
Music? No, I thought we were going to each pick out our top 5 personal worst movies of all time. You have your 5 and I'll have my 5.
Oh, damn.
You like that idea?
Tough. That's going to be tough.
Here's a rule I went by. It was not a movie that I thought would be bad going in. Like, it's not like I'm saying, oh, here's this bad movie that everybody talks about and says it's
yeah,
bad.
Like I haven't watched The Room yet, but I'm fully expecting that to be a
it's
horrible
something that you went into it without expectations and you thought about it after and thought this was terrible.
Okay, I'm glad I got a week to think about, well, not really a full week, but I got to think about this. That's a good thing. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I have my 5 already picked out.
Well, of course you do.
I don't think we'll repeat, so I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Okay. So, Michael, I've just discovered an 80s classic a few months ago, Flash Gordon.
I've heard of that
soundtrack
movie.
By Queen, let me tell you. I had no idea the song was made for that movie until I actually paid attention to the lyrics when getting a Queen CD. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, well, Queen did basically the whole soundtrack. I think they even did the incidental music, didn't they? I want to say, yeah. If Soundtracks with Birdman was here, he'd set me straight. But I'm pretty sure
they did the whole soundtrack. Yes.
Yeah, just like for the most part, they did the soundtrack for Highlander too.
Remember Ming the Merciless in that movie? He was evil.
I remember his daughter real well. And I remember Dale Arden, who actually played Elvis's high school love interest in the movie on Monday.
Interesting.
Recognize the names of characters. I'd watch the serials. If you guys like and have enjoyed Flash Gordon, get over to Tom Conkle's channel. Netter's going to drop a link to Tom Conkle's channel in the chat. He's got a great audio series on Flash Gordon that you'll want to check out with some great voice talents on it. Really, really worth it. Queen with Flash Gordon and Queen with Highlander. Yep, absolutely. One thing that I think is such a tragedy is that when the Kurgan is driving around and they got that Queen is singing New York, New York on the radio. Apparently they never recorded the whole song and it doesn't appear on any soundtrack. Well, there wasn't originally a soundtrack for Highlander. Most of the music from that movie was put on
was put on Queen's album. I want to say It's a Kind of Magic, or maybe it was Night at the Opera or something. I can't remember exactly. It wasn't until years later they did a Highlander soundtrack, but they never released their version of New York, New York, because they never recorded the whole thing. And I just thought that was the biggest tease. That hurts. I wanted that. I wanted that. I really did. Yes, the entire soundtrack was done by Queen. Were they also the ones that did the soundtrack for Dune? No. Wait a minute. Because didn't Sting have something to do with the soundtrack from Dune?
He might have, because he was acting in it.
Guys, help me out. If you do your Google foo, who did the soundtrack for David Lynch's Dune? The budget for Flash Gordon, the movie, subsidized the Flash Filmation cartoon, which was a
Hans Zimmer.
That was Hans Zimmer, really? Interesting. Okay.
The Filmation what?
Filmation cartoon of Flash Gordon, which was a classic. The movie, though, should be in the top 10, in your top 10 next week. Of bad movies, no, I enjoyed that one too much. That one movie was way better than it had any business of being. Flash, savior of the universe.
Did you know they did a cartoon that was called Defenders of the Earth, and it was Flash Gordon teaming up with the Phantom, Mandrake the Magician, and Lothar. They were like a Justice League kind of, right?
Yep. So there's Tom Conkle's channel, Lights Camera Conkle. Check it out. He's got this great Flash Gordon, and now he's got 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with oh, help me out here. What's his name? Vernon Wells does the voice of Nemo in that.
Oh,
brilliant! It's absolutely brilliant. You got to check it out. Talking music is my area for the most part. No, I get that. Music is something that really binds people together, I believe. Another one bites the dust for the 80s Detroit Lions. And another one's done, and another one's done. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. But he plays great bad guys. Yep. Queen, the act that stole the show from Live Aid. Yes. Oh, you're absolutely right about that one.
You may want to talk about Live Aid someday, right?
Yeah. I don't know too much about the behind the scenes on Live Aid, but if it's anything like the whole USA for Africa whole business thing, that was a huge clusterfuck. It was a great example of everybody donating for a cause and thinking they're doing so good, and that did nothing. It all went to graft and people that had their hands that never made it to alleviate any of the suffering people thought they were giving money to. Pre-Star Wars sci-fi. Go ahead.
I was going to say it was funny because there was a like a fake on one of these talk shows hosted by George Wendt. He was actually interviewing the band Spinal Tap as if they were real.
Yes.
And they asked them about, hey, were you involved with Live Aid? Well, did they request you show up? Actually, they requested we didn't show up. That's what they said. Like they said, instead of a request, please do not show up to Live Aid.
That makes me think of when we did the watch party of the return of Bruce Willis, and the footage of Bruno at Woodstock singing Youngblood.
Oh, funny.
I totally could have believed he actually performed at Woodstock. Pre-Star Wars sci-fi is fascinating to me. That's what I've been watching all year last year. Yeah, for Christmas Eve, we played Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. That's a classic piece of sci-fi.
Really?
Netter's like, I hate that movie.
It's
That,
so lame.
It
that
is
has
pretty
the
lame.
stupid song in the beginning, "Hooray for Santa Claus."
At the beginning and the end. Oh, yeah, hooray for Santa Claus. Yeah. First movie with Pia Zadora in it.
Yes, there you go.
Well,
That was on MST3K. I remember they did that for their Christmas episode.
for the longest time, Svengoolie used to host it every Christmas Eve. That's why I was kind of surprised.
That's how you know about it.
I think he kind of got away from it, which is too bad because that kind of sometimes schlock is good, you know.
Probably started showing movies like Christmas Sleigh, right? No, I don't know.
48-hour live streams. Okay, fair enough.
There should be a Frankenstein Christmas movie. Oh,
Frankenstein and the Bride Christmas special. I could see it. Yes, Sven. I grew up with Sven. Sven is a local personality, and I've talked about it on the channel before too. Even before Rich Coase was, well, you guys know him as Svengoolie, but before he was Svengoolie, he was the son of Svengoolie. And the reason that he was the son of Svengoolie was because before him was the original Svengoolie, played by Jerry G. Bishop, who, again, local celebrity. He played, I mean, if you think about, you're only 2 hours from Chicago. Okay, so Deej, you probably have seen a lot of the same TV I have, you know, WGN and so forth. Jerry G. Bishop was the original Svengoolie, and he was more like a hippie stylized version of the Svengoolie you see today. And I did not know as a kid that Jerry G. Bishop was the actor who played Svengoolie. So I was watching Svengoolie and I was a big fan. And then I would go to Bishop's Magic Shop, you know, after school and whatnot, and be so amazed by the proprietor doing all these magic tricks and whatnot. And you know, that's the gimmick, right? They get the kids interested, and in order to find out how the trick is done, you have to buy the trick. You have to buy the props, the cards or the objects or whatever it is. And it comes with little instructions on how it's done.
or the rabbit.
And, well,
the live rabbit. Right?
Nothing that advanced, right? I did. I got the cards, you know, where you pick a card and then hold it up and I'll tell you what card you picked. Mentalism, you know, it's 3 wavy lines. It's, you know, a circle. It's a square. It's whatever. Yeah, it's amazing. Or the little onyx stone that you'd use as a diviner, right? And then you'd hold it between your fingers and it would start to smoke. You know, I had to know how these tricks were done, so I had to pay for the tricks. But then come to find out, after he moved out to California, come to find out that, you know, it's kind of like in the comic books, right? You know, Clark Kent goes missing at the same time Superman goes missing, and nobody like makes the connection. Well, Jerry Bishop moved out to California. You know, somebody else took over his magic shop. And it was about that time that, you know, Son of Svengoolie took over for Svengoolie on TV. I never made the connection. It wasn't until years later where I was watching an interview with Rich Coase. He was talking about how he kind of, you know, was handpicked by Jerry Bishop to, you know, go and be the new Son of Svengoolie. And it was like, wait, the guy that taught me magic tricks? Really? You know, I just thought that was so amazing. I've kind of fallen behind on the chat a little bit. I have 2 DC comics from the 80s. That was all about that starving Africa movement, Heroes for Hunger. I do remember that. I don't have them, but I remember it. And Heroes for Hope. they had every DC artist at the time draw one page for those giant-sized books. I do remember those. I did read them. I never actually had them, though. You've seen the original Sven, yeah. I actually have saved on my desktop the music that was used as the intro for the original Svengoolie. I can't play it; it would get hit hard for copyright. But some bad movies are fun to watch. I didn't think Roadhouse was bad. We did a watch party of Roadhouse here. I love that movie. I love that movie. Rich was originally the son of Svengoolie, right? Then he said after a while of doing that, Bishop said, "Look, I'm retired. I'm never coming back. You should just take the Svengoolie mantle." And that's when he became Svengoolie. Yeah. I've talked to Rich and Dr. Demento on Facebook. Got music from Demento when I was still a DJ. Well, I'm going to take my camera. There we go. You probably can't see it, but there's a poster right there of Svengoolie. And if you look just below it, there is a little picture of it. And that's his autograph there. And then, of course, I have all the Super 7 Svengoolie 3 3/4-inch figures, and behind them are the Mego scale. Let's just, there we go. Get that back on there. The Mego scale figures too. Yeah, big fan. Netter and I met him at a convention. We brought him. We had gone down, well, for a long time. You know, you guys that watch me on live from Sparkwood in 21. Netter and I used to go out to Snoqualmie, Washington for the Twin Peaks Festival every year. Well, we also used to go down to Southern Illinois, Metropolis, Illinois specifically, for the Superman celebration every year. And they had an auction there of all kinds of mostly Superman stuff, but some old Hollywood stuff and whatnot. And we picked up some old lobby cards of the Universal Monsters. And I asked Netter to bid on them for me. And we didn't have a lot of competition, so we ended up winning them. And she said, "Why did you want these?" I said, "Because I'm hoping someday that I can give them to Rich Coase as a gift." And sure enough, a couple of years later, we were doing security for a convention where he was a guest. And we got in line, and we got his autograph. We actually got to get in line before anyone else because we were working security. Got a chance to meet him and talk to him, and gave him the lobby cards. So
yeah, then like he
I
did
think-
a show
I think it was like a
uh,
month later or something
yeah.
like that.
and he not only read the letter that Troy wrote that we include with the lobby cards, he showed them all off. He goes, "These are so cool."
Yeah. I was like, and he did that on his show. It was specifically a show where he was showing Dracula. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. But I just thought that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, I thought. I got the heart to find "We Are the Worms" song from Dr. Demento. Parody of "We Are the..." Yeah, I got that. There you are. Mark, this is going to be a stream you're going to want to probably go back and watch from the beginning. I think you're going to like our guest. I was talking about you actually a little bit during the stream because we were talking about some spiritual things, Buddhism. And I said, yeah, my friend Mark, who's not here, Buddhist of Jewish ancestry and so forth. You might want to check out the stream. You might get a kick out of it. I think you'll really enjoy it. But yeah, saying hi to each other. Super appreciate you guys. And again, just gonna throw it out. If anyone has not already, please hit that link up there, pinned to the top of the chat. go over to Jess's channel and subscribe because like I said, it makes us look good.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that. Let me see if I can't refresh and see where we're at. I think I lost it. Give me a second here. There it is. Refresh. We are at 376. We're at 376 and holding. So if we could get another one or two, that would be super, super awesome. I will rewind later. It's been a day. Had World War III with Xfinity, among other things.
Oh.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, so any newcomers coming in, I like my round numbers. Can we get it up to 380? So 4 more? Is there anyone who has not subbed yet to Flow with Jess? The link is at the top, handy dandy, right there for you. Just click on.
Yep.
Cost you nothing.
Would always be awesome if you could do that. So
Osmo, they're Osmo.
Yes, that too. Of course.
Don't downgrade everybody.
No. I didn't mean that. I did not mean that. You guys are wonderful. You are the best. Whatever word encourages you. Absolutely. Real quick, let me do something here real quick. There we go. And get that back. There we go. All right. Thank you, guys. I know we are at, is that right? Did I read that right? Refreshed, and it's at 379. Nice. We are one way from 380. That is wonderful.
I told you, everyone here is Osmo.
You guys really are. You are the best. Better than all the rest.
Is there anyone that's got an alternate ID that they can sub with? Maybe, perhaps? Maybe?
I did not hit her. I did not. This is bullshit. Oh, hi, Mark. Yes. I have not seen it yet. I will eventually do a watch party of the room.
Scene.
Yeah. I've actually seen a couple scenes from it, but yes. Thank you, Mark. Knew you would. Feel ya. Comcast, Xfinity suck. I would round. I've been round and round with those MFers multiple times. See, this is one thing that Netter used to say to them when she would complain about the high rates, and she'd always get some sort of satisfaction. She'd go, look, do you understand? I do not need your service to live. This is for me to watch TV, and I'm starting to question whether I even want to watch TV anymore. Yeah, you need internet connection, but there are still options for that too. And let me tell you something. I'm starting to look more and more at this whole what's that satellite thing that Musk does? The whatever it is. I've been looking into that, and it's like, if it really gets there and it becomes pretty reliable, I might start looking into that, because that would allow me to be able to continue working from literally anywhere. As a work from home contractor, that would be great, so that I could easily move house and get the hell out of Elinistan. Really,
Elinistan.
That's what I call it. Yeah.
Oh.
Mark Daly. Yeah, lowered all our plans, and Julie can't watch her Cubs. So I already found Marquee offers direct subscription for cheap. Means I'm not going to Stovallcourt yet. Fair enough. Yeah, she's got to keep you around as long as you're supplying her with her sports balls, huh? Okay, fair enough. That's good. So before we start wrapping up here, I did want to share, because I know Netter was talking about it. I have been having behind the scenes here, and I'm going to take these down and start moving them until next year, but I'm going to keep working on this. This project actually picked up a lot of steam. I'm going to go big screen. Hold on. There we go. So I've been working on my custom action figures, the holiday special Boba Fett figure. You'll see that he actually comes with the firing. Well, he does have the firing backpack and
Look at that.
the weapon from the holiday special. And of course, all the backs are the same. There's 15 action figures from the holiday special. Some of these are prototypes, so they actually look better in reality. With the free Akmina giveaway figure. I actually haven't even finished painting this figure, but the Chief Gourmanda, the Harvey Korman four-armed chef, which is a takeoff on Julia Child. Still working on that one. Of course, the star is Chewbacca in Life Day garb.
Chewie.
There is a vintage collection figure that Kenner put out, Hasbro put out. I don't have it like nearby to show. Same card back, basically, obviously without the Akmina bit, but more articulated in the newer style. And it's the only figure they've done that's really from the holiday special, but it doesn't use the holiday special logo. And it was, I think it was a Disney Store exclusive. I don't buy much from the Disney Store, but and this one I may actually do a whole video about this, although I know other YouTubers have before. So I did a holiday special Zutmore figure. A lot of people may or may not remember that is just the original Snaggletooth figure from the 70s. Okay, but that artwork, which was used on the original Zutmore, or excuse me, the original Snaggletooth figure, was not from Star Wars. It was from the holiday special. It was the only figure put out with holiday special artwork on it. So you can kind of see it's similar, but not exactly the same, right? And then in the 90s, they actually put out one that was the exact figure. So I put them in on a holiday special card. So I consider this to be my vintage collection style version of the figure. But I've also got up here Chewbacca's family, including his son, Lumpy. This one is actually a figure I made myself. It's a custom job. It's a repaint and kind of a carve up of an Ewok figure. I shaved the ears off of an Ewok, carved in fur into its place, so you kind of can't tell. And then I painted him, and I think he actually looks pretty darn good.
He looks like the real deal.
Yep. We have his wife Mala, which I'm sure you can imagine is just a Chewbacca figure, which is repainted. And yes, he's got Wookiee boobs. Those are because I'm being anatomically correct about it. I'm sure if they had put out a Mala figure, they would have made it clear that it was a female. But yeah, and then I made the apron from scratch out of muslin. And of course, his father, Itchy.
Does he come with the optional headgear?
No. Although I am planning to do a play set that will include the mind evaporator. But no, his accessory is the Emperor's cane. I figure it's this, this is how Kenner would have done it in the past. They would have just reused, items and so forth. So, but this one is this one is a custom job. Obviously, this is I don't remember the vendor, but when I do the video, I'll put up a link to it. This is a resin figure that I obviously painted. So there's those, and of course, again, a few reissues. We've got R2D2 in the animated style. That really is in the animated style. This was a redo of the Droids cartoon figure. And I just, when it came out as a Target exclusive, I grabbed it. Bloodlow, another figure from the Cantina scene in the holiday special. That figure is actually a Stan Solo version of Greedo. If you remember Greedo, his outfit was a bit more green and he did not have a vest. So this is the Stan Solo version. And you'll notice he comes with a drinking cup, because that's just how I roll. And then last of the figures that I have finished is the Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot. Of course, there was a Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot released. Was it released with Star Wars? Yeah, I think it came out before Empire.
Put him in the tie in the X-wing.
To put him in the X-Wing, but the difference was that he had a sculpted helmet, and this one actually comes with a removable helmet and a blaster and a blue lightsaber. And what you can't see behind him is he's got alternate arms so that he can hold the helmet like a football. And you notice the hand. That hand can't hold anything, that left hand.
No.
Just like the original, the right hand could hold the blaster and the left hand can't, but you can swap that out with a hand that can hold the lightsaber if you want. But yeah, I thought that was very much in keeping with the Luke Skywalker that we see in the holiday special. So that one, I want to say that one's from Pro System Figures. Anyway, when I get around to doing a standalone video about those figures, I will definitely put in the links to all of those.
We need a singing Princess Leia.
No. Well, if I was going to do that, the only way to do that would be with the little back in the 90s, they had these little stands that had chips inside of them, and you would put them onto a unit that would play their sound effects. They had R2D2 chirping and certain things that C-3PO would say. Every figure came with, sound effects of their figure. So if I was going to do a Princess Leia holiday special figure, I'd have to find a way to program a chip to
play the song.
But if I put in that much effort and spent that much money to do something so diabolical, I think my wife would kill me in my sleep. And I wouldn't blame her. I would have it coming. I really would.
All right.
Yeah. So let's see. Where are we at? We are at, what time is it? Oh, we're coming up on midnight, so we should probably start at least doing the wrap up to end us by midnight. Real quick, let's see where we're at on Jess's channel. Why did I open up another browser? I didn't mean to do that. Refresh. We're at 379. I don't think we're going to make the 380, guys, unless there's somebody here who has not yet subscribed. We need one more subscriber to get
sweeties, I know there's somebody out there who's holding back.
Who
wants to be our miracle person and give us that one.
You got 15 minutes while we do the run through of the weekend. So tomorrow night on this girl's, how do I get? like that. There, this girl's channel, Netters Network. Because it doesn't do any good for me to point across at you because they can't see that you're over there.
Yeah, you got to put your hand up and do this.
Yeah, that girl over there. Netters Network. We will be watching the 1960 Vincent Price classic, The Fall of the House of Usher. That's going to be a great one. I think we're going to enjoy that. So that's tomorrow night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Those of you that tuned in last night to Coming Attractions on Deleted Scenes know everything that's coming up on Deleted Scenes channel, because I don't always remember. But if you have to, go back to his channel and double check. Find out what he's got going on Sunday. I know he's got an Unscripted where it looks like he's going to be talking about David Lynch. I'm not surprised by that at all. Don't know if there is a Western Cinema, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was. So check that out. But then 8 Central, 9 Eastern, over on this guy's channel, what are we talking about?
Talking about a lot of things. Of course, certain celebrity in remembrances. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 finally announced. At least the brief trailer was done. And something about a Peter Pan Nightmare in Neverland movie.
Oh, God.
Among many other interesting subjects that night.
More horror stories based on children's shows. It kind of... Oh, boy. Okay. Anyway. So be that as it may. And then, is it this week that he is... having a late night stream with Sin, or is it next week? Do you know? Anyway, you know what? Go back and watch Coming Attractions on Deleted Scenes channel.
It's this week. Night. It's this week.
It is this week?
Okay. Sunday, yeah, midnight, yeah.
So him and Sin will be talking movies and award show stuff and all that kind of stuff. So that's late night Sunday night, which leads us into Monday, where... Monday night at the movies, I haven't decided what we're going to watch yet. Something. It'll be something.
Okay.
Just keep an eye. I'll get the stream up, and then you'll see it. I'll put it up in my, how do you call it? The social tab or whatever on YouTube. Tuesday, though, half hour early this week for Live from Sparkwood 21. So 7 Central, 8 Eastern. On Deleted's channel, we will be honoring the memory of David Lynch. He contributed a lot to pop culture, probably more than you even realize. Even if you're not into David Lynch, didn't really watch things like Twin Peaks and some of his movies and whatnot, he impacted a lot of the shows you probably do watch and don't even realize. So we'll definitely be talking about... Oh, take care, Samuel Procter. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, we're kind of winding it down now. Yeah, so we'll be doing that on Live from Sparkwood 21 this week. Then 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, episode 2 of season 2 of Blake 7. I am unaware of anything that's going on in our community on Wednesday, but by all means, keep an eye out. And if your channel, if you're going to start doing something regularly on Wednesdays, you need to let me know so I can let everybody else know when I do the breakdown. Thursday, who is your guest on Thursday, Netter of Netters Network?
Mike Netter.
Mike Netter. That's not a hard name to remember for you. Absolutely. Do you know anything about his channel that you can share right now?
He does do some political talk. Apparently he lives in California and he's kind of fed up with the government out there.
I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. You have a way of being very clear-minded when you
now his channel does not have a lot on it right now. Actually, I don't think he's got anything because they're revamping.
He's in the midst of rebranding. Yeah.
But, you guys are so amazing in Osmo.
We made it?
383.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh.
Because my peeps are beautiful.
You guys are wonderful. You guys are wonderful.
See, I asked for 1, I get 4.
There you go,
because
man.
they want to encourage me too.
383. You guys are wonderful.
My goodness.
Yeah. So in the backdrop, I will let her know. Not only did she get that far, but so the next goal is for her to get herself to that 500 number.
Well, she got 25 subs tonight.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely, that's awesome. But 500, start working on that whole
and then getting monetized
thing. Yeah.
And then, of course, she'll need watch hours.
She'll need the watch hours. So, guys, everybody that's subscribed to her tonight, make sure you go check out some of her videos. Kind of get what it's about. They're great videos for like just listening to especially when you're feeling stressed, when you're working, when you need something on in the background, or, if it's your thing, really pay attention. Maybe learn a little bit about all this yoga stuff and the I don't know. It's a little woo woo for me, but definitely I have benefited from it. Even though it's not really fully my shtick, but definitely check it out. And that's Thursday, and we do have a topic for next Friday. Next Friday, we will be talking about movies that really, really disappointed us, that we did not.
The worst movies.
Enjoy, yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I can tell you what one of them is right now because we talked about it a little bit tonight.
What?
Timeline.
Okay, you can make that one of yours.
Definitely one of mine. Absolutely. That's that one. That one just pissed me off. It really did.
Okay.
But there we go. So that is that. Netter, I know we went through a lot on Thursday, but do you want to kind of cover some of the things you've got planned and some of the things you've got coming up in the near future on your channel?
Yeah, what I was talking about on Thursday is that I am going to. My goal is to put aside at least one day a week, and do some editing of videos that I recorded some time ago, so that I can get those posting. I also want to do other vids and get those up, but I want to get the ones I've already recorded, edited, and posted first.
Right.
Unless something comes up where it's like, okay, I got to record this right now. So that's one thing. I think I want to also have not just guests on Thursday things like I've been doing, but also doing things that are more topical. I think it was Darkwood Presents suggested doing more, for lack of a better phrase, kind of like a talk showy type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's say, the subject for the night is, old films, black and white films. Well, I'll have somebody on, or maybe a couple someone's on, and that'll be our topic for the night. And we'll talk about like our favorite old black and white films and, film noir and all that. My favorite film noir, in case Tom Conkle's listening, is Trouble Is My Business.
There you go. Trouble Is My Business. She dropped the link earlier for Tom Conkle's channel because I was talking about his audio dramas, Flash Gordon and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but you can also get the full unedited version of Trouble Is My Business over there on his YouTube channel as well. Definitely worth checking out. And if you want to go back in my history, and he was a guest. He's been a guest on my channel a number of times.
He's been a guest on my channel a number of times. In fact, on one of the times he was a guest, I gave away a copy of Trouble Is My Business.
That's true.
And maybe, just maybe, I'll do that again.
But if you go back to one of to the first appearance of Tom Conkle on my channel, it was a rewatch of Trouble Is My Business, and he did commentary. Star and directors commentary, like you would get on
live.
like live. So it's worth checking out. You could queue up, one video, queue up mine, and check them out. You might actually get a kick out of that. So there you go. And like I had said on Thursday, definitely kind of learning this whole EV Mux thing. And Boomer, you and I are going to have to work behind the scenes because
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how to get it set up so that I can set up a stream and stream to your channel as well. I think I got to get some YouTube credentialing information from you. But I've also got a help desk ticket into EV Mux trying to get some help with that. There's a learning curve with this, guys, but I do think that it is going to elevate the quality of the streams in the new year. I think so. That's what I'm saying right now. So there we go. So we hit well into double digits tonight on viewers. We're now down to 9, but that's fine. I understand as it gets late. That's kind of the thing behind Last Call. It's Last Call. It's kind of expected that by the end of the stream, we're all going to bed, right? Just sleep it off.
Sleepy.
That's why so far I haven't found a stream to forward people to because it's late. Everyone's going to bed now. So, Boomer, did I miss anything? Anything you wanted to mention that I hadn't brought up?
No, just sad about David Lynch. But like I said, we'll have many interesting topics on Geeky Geezers this Sunday, including a zinger at George R. Martin by another fantasy writer. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So there we go. That is the week in review. It sounded to me like Jessica had had to take care of the baby and is probably being a little bit grumpy.
Baby.
And, yeah, I understand how it goes. So I guess the only thing that I can do is say
goodbye, Jessica.
And let's end it for the night. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for getting her over the 380 mark tonight. You guys are wonderful. You guys pulled it off for me. You made me look good to our guest. So hopefully she's appreciative.
388.
388. Holy cow.
Goodness.
Wait a minute. Let me refresh. I want to see that. Let me refresh. Well, I'll be darned. Let me go ahead and share that with you guys.
30 subscribers.
That will give me an opportunity to figure out.
I think that might be a record.
Hold on. Did I just kick myself out of the stream?
Still hearing you.
Okay.
No, you're still there. I can see you.
Share screen. Here we go. You don't need the sound on. Share. And I guess I got to bring it in, and then I got to blow it up. Yeah, there's her channel. And there we are with 388, guys. Come on. How wonderful is that? And this is the little guy. This is the guy that she had to go take care of. I think, give her some grace on that. I think that that's absolutely fair. So
all right.
That's guys, thank you so much. You gave this is what the Klingons call kapla, right? Success. Thank you so much for that. And
you're beautiful.
You really are. And
it's funny, she got more subscribers than you got thumbs up.
Yeah, typical. But that's fine. That's fine. I appreciate you guys. And I'm assuming you guys are all subscribed to me. I'm hoping. Hope you guys are all subscribed to these other two here on the panel and to each other because what do they say? Together we grow. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Another great stream, folks. Last Call is a great stress reliever. There you go. I appreciate that, my friend. So that's the show for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I had to go back there to take the comment down. Thank you guys again so much. Look, those of you guys that are members, keep an eye on those closing credits. See your names. See all the we make this stream happen because I swear, if you guys weren't continuing to encourage me, I'd just be lost, and I just give up. So thank you guys so much. You take care, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, for me and you. Let's toast to the night.